Hello, welcome to the Zen 7 Prep for 2021, How to Transition from Entrepreneur to ZENpreneur. I'm Vanessa Reagans, and I am the creator of the ZENpreneur 90-day intensive program. And while I was developing this program, I was trying really hard to define what I define going from entrepreneur to ZENpreneur really meant. So today I want to take you through the Zen 7 and hope that you can also find goals in each area of the Zen 7 that you can commit to for your small business in 2021. So let's get started. Alrighty. So this is the Zen 7 Prep for 2021, How to Transition from Entrepreneur to ZENpreneur. So there are 7 areas in the Zen 7. We have social media, marketing, business apps, nourishment, self-care, business development, and personal development. So let's get started with social media first. But before we get started, this is what I define ZENpreneur over an entrepreneur. When you're an entrepreneur, you typically have to manage your social media, your marketing, your business apps, and business development. But in developing that ZENpreneur quality, I've included making sure that you're really keeping balanced your nourishment, self-care, and personal development. So my hope for you when you leave this presentation is that you're going to have a goal for each of the Zen 7 areas. And then I also hope that you can find some specifics on how you can really transition from entrepreneur to ZENpreneur. And then really getting a clear understanding on how I define each of these areas. And we're going to do that now. So let's go into social media. So what do I mean by social media? There are a few areas that we want to focus on, primarily platforms. I want to make sure that I encourage you to have and choose 2 platforms to use for your small business and marketing your small business. Learn how to use and implement these tools really, really well. Aside from those 2 platforms, I really feel that every small business owner should have and maintain a LinkedIn profile. It's a professional network, and it's a great way for you to make those connections and develop relationships with potential referral partners. I personally am currently using 4 platforms right now actively, and I have worked on creating a consistent posting schedule with each of these. So I'm using Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All right, so next, we're going to move into how many times are you supposed to post? So I strongly suggest, especially when you're brand new to social media and you have a brand new business, that you need to be posting at least 1 time a day, depending on the platform, of course, that you choose. For instance, in my case, I use YouTube. I'm not posting a video every single day to YouTube. It's kind of, for me, it comes in bursts. I have a consistent schedule, but sometimes I'll have a couple extra ones, but it's not, that's one that I don't usually post on every single day. So really, consistency is key here. So you just want to make sure that your audience doesn't forget you. So make sure that you're active every single day. All right. And then last but not least, with your social media profiles, you've got to keep them updated. And this is what I mean by that. Make sure that each bio is updated. It has your most current information, most relevant information, and it's got a bit of your creativity and your personality coming out. You also want to make sure, especially with Facebook and YouTube, that you are utilizing that cover photo space. It is awesome real estate, and I highly encourage you to utilize that. Tell people about your events, switch it up for the holidays, use that space. Last but not least, if you're using Linktree or something like that for your Instagram, or if you're using that Linktree link for other places, like on your website and things like that, you really want to make sure that you keep those updated and check them on a regular basis. Go check your LinkedIn link tree, go press on it, make it an incognito window, and literally press on every single button. If it's broken, fix it immediately. I do this on a regular basis. Make sure that you bring that habit into your workflow. It's very, very, very important. All right, next area is marketing. So first, let's talk about network marketing. You can easily use social media to network. You can create these relationships. You can follow certain hashtags. You can follow people on social media networks, and you just start nurturing those relationships. You can attend now virtual networking events. There were virtual networking events before COVID, but there's a lot more now. You can definitely go find them. There's lots of virtual events that are available for you as a small business owner. Also, go through your email list and reach out to the folks that you have not spoken to in a while. This is a part of that email marketing. So next, under email, you also want to use a CRM tool. I have found this incredibly helpful. I upgraded Gmail to an application called Close, and I pay $20 a month for it. It is one of the applications that I realized that I have been using probably the longest in my business app toolkit. I love this app, and it helps me, literally, it reminds me. It has default reminders, and then you can set your own reminders to help you stay on top of your communications with those people who you are communicating with on a regular basis. There's several other awesome reasons why I love that tool, but that's one of the main reasons why. Next, we're going to talk about website marketing. So remember, every single page on your website is a post. It can be a post, it can be a call to action, and every single page on your website can also be sent to somebody in a DM, in a private message, in a text message, however. So really thinking of marketing with networking, email, and your website, how it's kind of all under that little umbrella. The next area, business apps. This is probably one of my favorite ones, and the ones that I've had to make some serious boundaries with, and I'll explain that, what I mean by that. But business apps, let's talk about this. So a little story here about me. Venturing off into my entrepreneur journey in 2013, I was drawn to, oh my gosh, all this technology that I can use to build my business. I'm so excited about this, and I want to learn all of it. You can have something scheduled out your social media posts. Tell me all about it. So I went a little bit app crazy, I suppose. And at the time, I was purchasing and paying for applications that were really cool to me. And then I was only finding that I was only using a certain piece or a certain feature that attracted me to it in the first place. So after learning some hard lessons with finances and not remembering which apps, are renewing and all of that, I broke it down into my own app criteria for myself whenever I go and another app catches my eye. So I've broken this down into 4 different areas. So first, price. What does it cost you in money? But what else does it cost you in time? So is it going to support you in saving time, or is it just an application that you're just not going to get? Like, how long is that learning curve? And what does it cost you in money? A lot of applications are free, of course, but there is a lot of applications that, as a small business owner, you're going to eventually need to invest money into those. All right, next, mobile app. That's the second part of my app criteria. So one of the things that you'll find, or you already have found as being a small business owner, is you're going to have to leave your workspace. You're going to only be having your phone or maybe your tablet with you. You're not going to be able to haul your computer off to the bank to go put checks in. People just don't do that. So something for me is, if I'm going to invest into this application, if I'm going to spend the time to learn this application, does it have a mobile device? I really need a mobile device. It has to have an effective way for me to leave my workspace so I can use that application away from my computer. So that's a huge one for me. It might not be for you, but for me, my vision for my business is that I will be able to, if I need to, I can just take my cell phone, I can walk away from my workspace, and I can handle the business from my phone primarily. So I'm always looking at, does the features that I use on the desktop, can I use them on the mobile device? So is it the same, or like one app that I absolutely love, it's called 17 Hats. And the mobile app is identical to the desktop app. So I am so confident when I leave my workspace, if something happens and I need to access an invoice or help a client with a contract or something like that, I can do that away from my desk. It's amazing. Next area, time saver. So how much time, we talked about time in price, because how much is this really going to cost you in time to learn the application? But now what I'm talking about is time saver. So once you've learned this application, if you've made that decision to purchase this application and commit to it, it's part of your business toolkit. So now, how much time is this actually going to save you in the long run? And something I always think of, I don't currently have a VA, but eventually I would like to have somebody to support some of the back end things of my business. So I always think of, when I hire on somebody to support me, if I do grow a small team or whatever, if you're thinking about that, how easy is this going to be to teach that VA this application? How easy is it going to be, that onboarding process, right? So always talking about that. So how much time is it actually going to save you? And then a bonus question is, if you are planning on hiring a VA or team members to help you, and they're going to be utilizing the apps in your business toolkit, that you are able to teach them that. So you really got to know your applications like the back of your hand. Last but not least, customer service. So typically with applications that you pay for, you're also paying for a different level of their customer service. For instance, I had an application that I was paying for the free tier, and it was free. And so I only had access to their email support. Okay, so it would be like 24 or 48 hours before I would get a response. The next tier, the pro tier, you typically get live chat. Okay, well, I'm totally fine with that. That works for me. The next tier, enterprise or business, or the next tier above, pro, you typically get more like, you can get a live phone call, that sort of thing, or even they'll jump on a virtual conference call with you and do a demo, depending on the price range for that and depending on what they're offering. So that's something to consider, because it is important. If, for instance, when I was onboarding on to learn 17 Hats, there's 17 Hats. It's a lot of different pieces of that software. So I love the customer service, because I have a little chat bubble that I can reach out to them pretty much anytime that I want. Not in the middle of the night, but pretty much throughout the whole day, even on the weekends. And, you know, I know they're not supposed to, but if they ever watch this video, thank you so much, because they responded to me on the holiday. I think it was this last Thanksgiving, and like helped me with something like, hey, I'm not really supposed to do this, but here is the help. So they go above and beyond. And I just, as a small business owner, things happen on the weirdest days. So I'm so grateful for that. So customer service. Think about the level of customer service that you're going to need with that app. If you know it like the back of your hand, you don't need that level of customer service, fine. But that's just something that I take into account when I'm choosing my business apps. All right. So moving right along into the business toolkit itself. So thinking about the tools that you're using every day to operate your small business, I want you to write these down. And I also, if you are paying for them, I want you to also write that down. How much are you spending on these applications? I had a huge light bulb when I added up all of the applications that I was using and everything that I was investing in. It was a lot. It was a lot. So no wonder that was happening to my bank account. So always being aware of what you're investing into your business. Also, when you are writing down how much you spend with the applications that you use currently, I want you to use that criteria I just went over to help you determine whether or not that app is really worth it or not. It's completely up to you as that small business owner. But if you are not currently weaving technology into your workflow, and you also don't know really where to start, I just want to invite you, let's connect. I would love to learn more about your business and kind of get you started. So let's connect. I would love to learn more about you. Next, there are tons and tons of free applications out there. And as a small business owner in the very, very, very beginning, you want to kind of learn what those are and use them until you're ready to invest in the maybe more advanced, I guess, applications. And if you really wanted to, I know there are other YouTube channels out there who primarily can tell you all of the applications that you could use to run and operate your business that are completely free. So you could ultimately have a completely free business toolkit if you wanted to. So that's another choice for you as well. All right. Now, once you have your apps and you have your business toolkit all organized, when I work with clients, I tell them to organize their applications on their phone. Every single application that you use for your business needs to be available. Don't want to swipe through your phone like, where is my 17 hats? No, where is my clothes app? Where's my email? You don't want to do that. So I would like you to take an opportunity to organize your apps on your cell phone and see how this helps and increases and improves your workflow. With my, let's see, I don't know if I have my cord with me right now off the chart. Actually, yes, I want to show you what I do with mine. Okay, so I'm just going to screen share my phone really fast because I want to show you how I am organizing this. So just briefly, I'm just going to head over into the phone really fast so you can see what's going on here. All right, so on the front here, whoops. Oh, you know what? Not now. Actually, we're going to have to pause this. All right, here we go. All right, so back to my mobile share. Sorry about that. All right, so here we go. So I wanted to show you, this is what my very first page of my phone looks like. So I have different applications for different things. Some of these, the Patreon app, you can see Udemy, BigView, and Crowdcast, the ones that are kind of their own app, they're not really organized. I'm still kind of getting used to those. That's why they're not in a folder. So I really have this process that I do with my applications. But something that really, really helped me is figuring out some categories to organize these business tools in or under, in a way. So what I have here, as you can see by the calendar app, the folder to the right of that is marketing. The one next to that is back office. And then the folder underneath marketing is communication. So I organize my applications by those three areas: marketing, back office, and communication. And then with the ZENpreneur program, we build that business toolkit with those areas. So that's how I like to organize the phone applications that I use to run my business. And it just helps me. I open up the phone and I know exactly where it is. We memorize where our apps are. So it's been very, very helpful for that. All right, next up, we are going to move into nourishment. So for nourishment, first up is food prep. So this is simply planning out your meals and your snacks ahead of time. Snacks is really important for me because there are times, and I'm sure you'll experience this if you haven't already as a small business owner, that you might be jumping from thing to thing, appointment to appointment. You might have errands to run and things like that. And sometimes food prep, you need to have those like grabby snacks where you can just kind of grab a banana or grab that granola bar, or I like those perfect bars. It's almond butter. I really like those. Something that's going to get you through that time. So I'm always trying to find those perfect bars, the almond butter ones. I love those, and those get me through that little chunk of time until I can get to having a meal or some more nourishment. So what I like to do is on Fridays, I like to kind of look through the fridge, go through what we have in the refrigerator, and then create a list of what we need maybe to add in, what we have, literally a list of what we have in the fridge. And then we take that and then we decide what else we need in order to complement those things or just kind of use those from leftovers. And then we make that other list, and then we go to the store and grab all of our food, and then we can plan out our meals. So one of the things, if you have to, with all the things that you have to think about as a small business owner, food prep shouldn't have to be one of them. So when you plan ahead, you are really saving yourself time throughout the week when you're doing this consistently to focus and move your goals forward for your business. I really, truly believe that. So thinking about if this is something that you would like to work on committing to in the new year. All right, the next area, hydration. One of the things that I always tell, or I've told my massage clients in the past, is that I can tell when their muscle tissue didn't feel like it was hydrated. It wasn't moving right. It wasn't like listening to me. It was kind of like fighting me in a sense. So I can tell when muscles are not being hydrated by the texture. And I always tell them a mobile body is a hydrated one. So if they were having difficulties with their mobility or pain and discomfort in their body, I would be asking them, how hydrated are you? And even if you think you're hydrated, even me, I need more water. So in fact, I guess I'll just take a sip of this. Water keeps everything moving smoothly, and I am talking about your digestion. Absolutely, you want to make sure that your body's hydrated so that all the systems, from when you eat food all the way down to when you use the restroom, that everything's running smoothly, and hydration is going to be key in that. Absolutely. So make sure that you stay hydrated as a small business owner. Also, movement. Whoops. I press it twice. Movement, so important. Exercise that actually gets your heart rate up. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important from an anatomy nerd perspective. So when we breathe and when we're moving and we're getting our heart rate up, we are also supporting our lymph system. And our lymph system really needs to be cleansed on a very regular basis. And if it's not, you tend to feel like you have inflammation and pain and discomfort in your body. So getting your heart rate up, breathing and moving is actually the combination to get your lymph moving. For our circulatory system, we have an actual pump. It has its own pump. Our heart literally is the pump for our circulatory system. Even when we're not moving, even when we're sleeping. Sorry, I have an eyelash in my eye. Even when we're sleeping, our heart is still pumping that circulation. But when we're sleeping, nothing's really moving our lymph. So we're responsible for that. And it also helps you be more alert, and especially if you're not feeling any pain or discomfort in your body, you're able to fully focus with a clear mind on your work. So for nourishment, it's food prep, hydration, and movement. Now, next, I gave you a little sneak peek, but the next one is self-care. I love self-care. I love talking about it. All right, next, there's 3 parts of self-care. First is mindset. So what I mean by this is having daily mental checks with yourself. Literally what I'm going to tell you is to follow positive, inspirational, and truthful accounts on social media. That's going to support your mindset. I recently went through an entire sweep of my Instagram, and the accounts that no longer served me, I stopped following them. It wasn't no offense to them at all. It's all me. And it was something to support my mindset. All right. Next area. Oh my gosh, I think I love all these areas. The next one is yoga. And for me, I feel like this is the ultimate self-care for yourself because it works all of the planes of motion. So your frontal plane, side-to-side motions, and your forward and backward motions, and then your transverse plane. So anything that twists your torso. So yoga, if you think about all those poses, if you think about the breathing and then moving into the pose and the fluid sequence, it's really working all the planes of motion in your body. It also is cleansing your organs and your spine. So all of those twists, all those holds when you're folded in half and you feel like, man, I cannot breathe. You're actually cleansing your organs and those twists, those gentle spinal twists, you're cleansing, you're almost wringing out any toxins or impurities in your spine from those yoga poses. And really, honestly, the list goes on, and I could probably make another video with just, breaking down each area a little bit deeper. But I may do that, so noted there. Last but not least in self-care is foam rolling. I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with this tool. However, it has been a tool that has, for me, prolonged my massage career. I give it full credit for that. A combination of yoga and foam rolling and, building that awareness of, okay, how am I doing right now in my body? Okay, my side rib hurts. And then going to get my foam roller and rolling out my side rib. Not allowing that to progress and be worse, and then, making my mindset not so positive. So foam rolling is also self-myofascial release. And so it's literally you are giving yourself a massage. Self-myofascial release is self-massage. And I just wanted to let you know, if you haven't already seen, that I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that's called Anatomy Nerd. And I recently completed a foam rolling series, and each area has its own video. So I literally work from the bottom surface of your feet. We work our way all the way up to the body, using the foam roller, and each area is its own video. So you can use that. Also, I have one more thing to go along with foam rolling, is that I have these awesome charts. So these are the Anatomy Nerd myofascial release charts. It's a free download on my website. You go to vanessareagans.com and you'll get all 4 of these. They are common pain points, sports and activity, repetitive tasks, and then I made another little bonus one for areas to not foam roll. I have seen people say, hey, or they jump on the foam roller and they're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then they're rolling their lower back. And I'm just like, no, please don't do that. And I explain why. And anyways, make sure you take a look at that. I have my, a video dedicated to the areas not to foam roll in that playlist. Take a look and listen to that. I just wanted to give you a heads up that this is a free download for you, and then you'll have these. And then if I update them, I'll let you know. Okay, now let's move into business development. So the first thing I want to talk about is structure. So as a small business owner, even if you're doing this, even if you have a job and it's kind of like your side hustle right now, as a small business owner, when you are in small business owner mode, you no longer have anybody telling you how to manage your time. That responsibility falls on you entirely. So committing to building and implementing these new habits that we're talking about in the Zen 7. One thing that's really helped me out is time blocking. This helps me have a very, very productive week, and it helps me really stay on task. The last year, the last half of 2019 and all of this year, I've been using a new application that has really helped me accomplish a lot of the goals and things that I've had on my list, which seems like for a long time. So I am very confident that if you commit to these types of new habits, that you're going to be able to have that much of a productive week as well. Oops, there we go. There. Business processes is the next area. So this is something that I learned early on. I started to see patterns or processes that started happening in my business on a regular basis. So I started to I started to write out each step as like a checklist. So, and then I'd come back to that and I'd go through the checklist every single time, so that I wouldn't miss a step, because some of these processes, it seemed, as for me as a small business owner in the very beginning of my entrepreneur journey, these were intimidating parts of the business that I didn't like to do. For instance, writing out an invoice. I didn't want to do that. I wasn't really a fan of that. And for me, sometimes there were some obstacles and challenges with mathematics. And there were a couple times where things came back and they said, hey, that was not done correctly. And so that is why I am committed, or that's why I built this business process to support me on those tasks that I found quite challenging. So I sat down, I wrote down the step-by-step process, and then I followed it every single time I was ready to write a new invoice at the end of the month. I went back to my business process and I went through every single step. And eventually you start finding a flow for sure, but I won't not use that. So I want you to think about your onboarding, a client process. Think about what are the step-by-step process of you getting your marketing ready for your social media? What are those steps? Write it out. And I know it will really help you out. You'll start to see, wow, look at all of these things that I do on a regular basis. Go me. All right. Next area that we're going to talk about for business development is new business skills. So as a small business owner, yes, we are always learning. We're constantly learning. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about, is there a skill that somebody that you really admire? Is there somebody that does something, a business skill that you really would like to adopt? And figure out how you can learn that skill. Something that I really wanted to do was create video, but I didn't want to go to video creating school. I didn't want to invest in a whole ton of equipment. It was kind of like that. I really, really wanted to do this, but I didn't want, this. So I found some solutions. And so one of the things that I learned or found was Ecamm, and Ecamm's for Mac, and I'm literally using right now, and it has helped me in my business go live, stream live, create these awesome, cool, to me, presentations. I'm pretty stoked about it, and feel confident online. And that's a huge, huge thing. So find a skill that you would like to learn. This was mine, presenting online and learning how to stream live and making it look professional. That was something I really, really wanted to do. And the biggest thing, what it all boiled down to, was being strictly confident. I just wanted to feel confident online. That is what I wanted. So I found Ecamm. I invested in their program, and it was the best thing. It was a 2-week program. I learned how to use all of the pieces of Ecamm, and I did. So if I can learn it, I swear to gracious, anybody can learn this. It's amazing. It's so fun. And then you have this awesome skill that then you can go out and present to the world. So think about a skill that you want to learn for next year. Now let's move to the last area, personal development. So the first part of personal development to me is developing a relationship with yourself. And so what I mean by this is really starting to trust your intuition. And when you are a small business owner, you're going to come up against a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, and a lot of questions really about what to do with your business, how to interact with people, who to reach out to. You have all these questions, and I have found that doing a lot of research. One of the things that I've learned is I can do my own research. A quick Google search will give you a lot of information that will support you. But trusting your intuition with your business, your judgments based on, okay, do I want to move my business in that direction? Is that really something that I want to do? Do I really want to add this into my business? Something that I've been thinking about is I've had a podcast in the past. And do I really want to add that back in? Was that something I really wanted to do? And actually, yeah, I freaking loved doing the podcast. And there was something that tripped me up in the past. And so I've started to, start trusting that intuition when it's starting to bring that idea back into my mind. Maybe I should do this again. This was really fun for me. I really enjoyed this. It brought me joy in my business. And then also thinking about the other things, like I hosted an event that I thought I was going to like. I was very excited about it. I was excited to host it. And then halfway through it, I was like, I don't want to ever do this again. So learning what types of things you want to do, things that bring you joy, go and learn what's a new skill that can bring that into your business and bring that into your workflow. Also, holding yourself accountable, no excuses. This is me talking to myself. I've done this. This is why I put this in here. I have to hold myself accountable, and that is building that trust with myself. Like putting this presentation together. Simple example here, but what do I need to do? I have to prepare the slideshow. I need to really look at each piece of this and break it down. Like this is all me. This is just from what I have learned personally. And I built that trust with myself. I got my slides done. I built out the project. I did my step-by-step business process with a new project that I have, all the little steps I do. And here I am. So, putting yourself up to those challenges and following through on them. Following through, man, that must be one of my little mantras too, because that was something I struggled with. I had all these great ideas, but my follow through really sucked. So I started developing this relationship with myself, naming the things that I was fearful of, right? I'm fearful maybe of coming live and expressing myself, and maybe if I stumble over my words, or if I drop my pen, or if the slideshow goes to something else, something like that. It's just kind of just tuning into yourself and just trusting that it's going to be okay, and trying new things, putting yourself out there, and following these areas I feel have really, really supported me. All right, next area is sharpening your mental health. And what I mean by this is simply maintaining, just maintaining. Sharpening your mental health is, keeping up with what you're doing, keeping your momentum, and then maybe challenging yourself a little bit. Keeping that momentum and then challenging yourself a little bit. So that's kind of how I sharpen my mental health. I think all of the areas of the Zen 7 kind of sort of do a flood into, personal development and sharpening your mental health. Keeping that, keep challenging yourself, that sort of thing. I think that all kind of falls in line with that. And last but not least here in personal development is study. And this is more like self-study. So what I mean by this is listening to positive and inspirational podcasts, books, audiobooks, and then kind of, doing the same thing with following those positive influencers online. There's lots of podcasts. There's applications that can support you in your self-study, but I primarily go towards the podcast and the books for my self-study. I love books. So I've got quite a stack of books and that I need to get through, but that's kind of where I look for that personal development, that self-study. It's really focused primarily on podcasts and books. Alrighty, so we have covered a whole lot, all the areas of the Zen 7, and so I want to challenge you to start taking some action in 2021. That was one of my promises to you for watching this live today. So in 2021, I would love to invite you to get clear on your business goals. One of the things that I wanted to do in this description of this event is literally have you leave here with a good idea of how to make one goal for each area of the Zen 7. So that's 7 goals. And plenty of information, plenty of ideas to support you in making those goals for each area of the Zen 7. And then next, what I want you to do is I want you to define 3 commitments that are going to help you reach those 7 goals. What are you going to commit to doing for yourself? How is, for an example, how is building or sharpening that mental health, how is that going to support you in reaching those goals? Okay. Last but not least, I want you to monitor your progress. How are you going to monitor your progress? Are you going to have meetings with yourself? Are you going to, that's something that we do, I should have added that into business development. That's something that I've done for myself is I literally meet with my business twice a week. I meet with my business on Thursday and on Sunday, like clockwork, every single week. And this helps me kind of keep a bird's eye view on what's going on, a pulse on the projects that I'm working on and what I need to focus on, what's priority, what's not, and revising the things that I want to do. If they're no longer in alignment with what I am wanting to do, then they get tossed. I've gone through my whole business dashboard and I have eliminated so much from it. Moving into 2021 is going to be a lot less. So thinking about how you're going to monitor your progress. So that is going to conclude the Zen 7 prep for 2021. I would love to hear your feedback, and if you are open to sharing any of the things that you found the most helpful, I would love to learn and read them in the comment box below. If you know of any small business owners, family, friends who would really benefit from using this video and using this concept of Zen 7, please send them my way. Share this video with them and support them on their transition from entrepreneur to ZENpreneur. I'd love it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, I'm very active on Instagram, Twitter, and I'm on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all in the next live. Take care, everyone.